Alright, this is part 2 of Vlog 5, and in this one I'm going to be talking about nefarious technology. I'm going to be looking at my notes, so bear with me if I get a little bit, if I do get a little bit jumbled or tongue-tied or anything of that nature. First off, I want to stress reading the articles that are listed in the description. I've been copying and pasting them in basically all the videos. Essentially, we're living in the future, kind of in the advent of quantum computing and AI deepfakes and things like Neuralink with Elon Musk and things of that nature. So when I'm listing some of these things that have happened to me and the technologies that I've experienced, they may sound out of this world and completely hard to believe. But if you read the articles, there's definitely information to back up what I'm saying, and also just information that states what's been going on in the realms of science and neuroscience and discoveries that have been made, as well as the technological advancements in those particular fields. So first off, nefarious technology, gang stalking. Assume that all your electronics are hacked, every single one. I want to repeat a little bit of a story that I experienced. I told this story on Instagram already, but I'm telling it here on YouTube for the first time. I drive a Toyota Scion, a TC. It's a manual, a stick shift, and the vehicle reversed by itself. I was parked in a lot, had my foot on the brake, so no handbrake, and the car literally just reversed by itself. So if someone could explain that to me, that would be ideal, because that's something, again, I've never experienced before. Some other technologies. You may feel, if you're being gang stalked, some cranium pressure on the top of your head, which basically inhibits thinking. It's a total pressure on the top of the head only. It comes and goes whenever they initiate it. It basically forces you to think down to one thought. It really minimizes your thinking to an exceptional degree. It isn't painful. It's simply pressure. And again, we're dealing with kind of microwaves and light waves and things of that nature, that type of technology. So that's that there. Also kind of in the same league, you may feel pressure on your right temple. Again, this is gang stalking technology, which may cause temporary short-term memory recall. Does a lot of the other things I'm not going to get into, but that's one that definitely comes up for sure. How you know this is that the pressure will increase as you try to recall a thought, any thought in general, and then decrease once the thought is recalled, the thought that you're trying to remember is recalled. Tin, like a tin canister or a tin metal lid, will actually reduce this attack. It doesn't nullify it completely, but if you just, again, this sounds completely irrational, but trust me on this. If you put this on your temple, it will nullify what's going on there. Not completely, but it'll definitely, again, decrease it. For these technologies, it doesn't happen all the time. It only happens on select thoughts, the pressure on the right temple. And then the cranium pressure is, again, when they want to instigate it. So that's whenever they go about doing that. Muscular control. They have technology which can cause involuntary movement, causing facial expressions such as smiling and crying. Completely involuntary, none of your doing, without any emotion attached whatsoever. For the crying, there's usually kind of a very systemic deal that goes into the phases. Usually you'll feel the throat constrict, not a lump in your throat, literally your throat constricting, your trachea. If anybody has any muscular knowledge or any knowledge of the body in general, they may have an idea of what's going on, partially. But again, your throat constricts, then your face contorts, and then your tear ducts start to go. Again, it's very systemic, very 1, 2, 3. It's in a phase. You will recognize it immediately. Others, of course, will not, because it's in your body. Also, on muscular control, there are paralysis incidents. So there was one incident where I was unable to do an ab crunch. I was lying down and I was unable to do an ab crunch. Not because I didn't have the strength to do it, but because literally there was a disconnect. It didn't feel like there was any pressure on my chest or anything like that, but there definitely is a sensation, and you know that you aren't connecting with your body. Um, and there was another incident where I couldn't move my legs temporarily. And again, these incidents did occur, and they lasted roughly 10 to 15 minutes. And it was one kind of incident of each. The paralysis incident of when I was unable to bend and do an ab crunch, and then the legs. Moving on to V2K, which is also known as voice to skull. That's been around for a while. It was actually used in the Iraq War, so you can actually Google that information. Again, the links, look at the links in the description. There's information there. V2K is also known as the voice of God. You can read the articles, and there's copious amounts of information kind of detailing what's going on with that technology. But just as important is blocking sound. So this is an odd one, but if you live in a house, for example, like I live in this residence, you won't be able to hear kind of the plumbing that's going on that you normally would have heard, for example, such as if you're upstairs, the downstairs toilet flushing, or the plumbing of the sink downstairs, again, if you're upstairs, or even the garage door opening, or even on some occasions birds singing. You don't hear that at all, but they're blocking sound. And the last technology that I want to detail here is what I've dubbed the invisible hand. It's an electronic sensation used to molest and sodomize. Can cause arousal, so this is going to be a little bit graphic here. It may be a little bit crass, please forgive me, but forced erections, completely random, completely not of your doing, without any partner or media or anything of the like to instigate any type of arousal. But if you go under the water, or if you take a shower, for example, if you feel the invisible hand sensation on your on your buttocks, if you go in the shower and have the water run over your buttocks, that invisible hand will go away. That sensation will disappear. So again, that's some technology there. And I'm signing off for this part.